Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia, or 1 AM if you're in the UK. And do remember, if you miss the live streams, you can watch them at any time by clicking the videos tab at the top of my Twitch page. I hope you guys and girls are well. Hope you had a good weekend. Smokeberry Barbecue, Sniper Echo, Euro, it's good to see you guys. And Tamana, thank you very much for the 31-month subscription. You're absolutely awesome, Tamana. So thank you very much for the sub, the continued sub for 31 months. I do appreciate it, guys, when you do sub to the channel. But I'm doing well, Sniper Echo. Hope you are. And Smurfberry is smashing his head against the wall, trying to get to bend Blender's key bindings to his will. Yes, that's sub hype. Euro says you can fix that by installing 3D Studio Max Smurfberry. Well, he's right. We don't play favours for 3D software. They're all very good. But yes, I hope you guys and girls are well. I hope you had a good weekend. We're going to continue working on the House in the Hollow game that is available to wishlist now on Steam. We're working on the master bedroom, Mr. Barrett's master bedroom, and we're working on the main bookcase in the master bedroom. Last week we were doing some texturing in Substance Painter, so that's what we're going to continue doing. I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking, Sniper Echo. Yep, no, I'm good. I'm a bit tired, but I'm good. I've just come back from holidays and I'm already tired. But no, it's all good. It's all good. I hope everything's going well with you too, Sniper. I hope your project is coming along okay. Android Lust says it's just posted on the Discord his speed test. Oh no. He's got 0.25 megabits per second download and 0.04 megabytes per second upload. Oh no. It probably means he can't watch the stream. He has problems with his internet connection, and I can relate. You know, I live in Australia where we got potato internet most of the time. But Android Lost, maybe if you're listening on audio, shout out hello to you. Terrible to see those internet speeds. That's really bad. And as Euro says, still having problems, eh? Sniper Echo says, I got to go learn some Python to get something working in Blender. Python is a great scripting language to learn. I recommend you all learn it if you can and if you want to. It's used in so many industries, so much software, like not just ArchViz or film or games, but it's used in a lot of different pieces of software. It's really good scripting language to learn and to know, because it can be so useful in so many different things. So I recommend learning Python. Actually, I want to do a refresher on Python myself. I'm pretty good with MaxScript, and I've released a few plugins for Max using MaxScript, but I want to do more Python stuff. Smurfberry says, you and me both. I'm buried in Pi menus and code. Sniper says, project is going pretty good at the moment. Today, 2 more people came on board, so yeah, it's a good day. Well, that's good to hear. It's always many hands make light work, isn't that what they say? It's horrific, Android Lust says in Discord. Well, I've got the Discord open, so do remember, guys and girls, unless you're a sub to my channel, don't post links in Twitch chat. But everyone is free to post links in Discord. I have Discord open with my Twitch chat, so if you're posting messages in Discord, I can see it immediately. I don't think you'll be ignored. I see both. Sniper says to Smurfberry, really, what the hell are you at? What the hell are you at? Smurfberry says, trying to build some right-click menus that are similar to Maya, where there's a pie menu above a regular list menu. Oh. Smurfberry says it's a bit messy and there's lots of Python involved. Well, Python is the way to go. If you want to do any sort of scripting stuff, for whatever graphics software you're using, like I said, not just 3D programs, a lot of different software makes use of Python. OBS uses Python, I think, yes. My, my alerts that I set off, my fill slap and all that sort of stuff, that's all scripted in Python. So, lots of different software users. Mira says sneaks, and Sniper says interesting. It is interesting. Python is a great scripting language. It's been around for a very long time. And the fact that it's still being used today is testament to just how good of a language it is. It's like the C and C++ languages. They're still in huge demand today, and they've been around for donkey's years as well, decades. So if it's still around, then you know it's good. Euro says OBS has a few language APIs you can use with it. There you go. Euro says Lua, Python, it's written in C++ though. And C++ is the fundamental programming language. There's assembly, of course, which is more lower level than C++, but assembly is quite a difficult language to learn anyway. So C++, if you can learn that, which I don't know. I have not used C++ or C#. They're both very good. I'd like to be able to program in them, but I haven't really devoted enough time to learn them. Python is a good alternative to get some stuff done in your 3D work more easily. MaxScript, if you're a Max user, is pretty good as well. I have to give a tick to Autodesk for MaxScript because it is a good scripting language. It's been in Max for a long time, and I've used it. Like I said, I've created some plugins for Max and given them away using it. And it's a good scripting language too, if you're a Mac user though. But Python, you can use it in all different software. Euro says, I'm learning Rust, loving it so far. I haven't looked at Rust. Smurfberry says, what I really would prefer to do is just keep using the existing right-click menu and append, inject a pie above it. But as far as I can tell, the prepend function only inserts stuff in the list of menu items, so it would just make the pie menu items regular list items or worse. Look, and Smurfberry says, isn't it Rust blasé, an old hat now? What was my point? Was they going to make Smurfberry distracted me and confused me, which is not hard to do for Phil. Sniper says, can you post an example of the My menu in Discord? Euro says, no, it's newer than C++. We're talking about Rust. I forget what I was going to say. Let's see if I can remember by rereading the chat. We were talking about C++, C#. No, it's gone. It's gone. Phil's mind's like a sieve. If he doesn't say it when he thinks it, then it's gone. Can't have been that important. So yes, I'm sorry to hear your internet is really bad, Android Lust. If you're listening to me on audio only, then and you want to talk or chat, jump on the Discord because I can see you. Hopefully it'll be better soon. And like I said, I come from Australia where we have potato internet, so I know and I feel for you. I know what it's like. Okay. Yeah, we won't go on a rambling tangent about bad internet, but Australia can be really bad because the country is so big and so many people live out of the main cities. The internet is very spotty in places, so. Oh, I didn't know that. Euro says that, hang on. Mercury says, I thought people had gotten bored of it and moved on already to the new hotness. It's a bit like that. Programming languages and scripting languages, they're always inventing new ones. One becomes very popular for a while and then less popular. Like Java was the go-to scripting language for a very long time. It's still popular, don't get me wrong, but not as popular as it used to be. I don't particularly like Java, and a good friend of mine who's a software engineer loves Java and has made his career around Java, and every time I say I really don't like Java, I think it's terrible, he hits the roof and turns red. I like PHP. I think that's a great scripting language. Java is good. It's just, I don't know, something about Java, it just doesn't gel with me. Euro says 3D Studio Max has a Python API as well. Yep, I'm sure it does. I know Max does. I'm pretty sure Maya does. I know Vue does. There's a whole range of software that have Python APIs that you can hook into. That's why you should learn Python. It's very good. Smurfberry says JavaScript is like that. All the JavaScript developers have ADHD. I think they do. Smurfberry says Node.js and AngularJS. No time for that newer thing. Abandon the old thing. Yeah, but software engineering can be like that. They're always coming up with new scripting languages because, you know, the ones that we've been using are just no good. We have to create something new. So they're always inventing new scripting languages, and some of them stick around and some of them disappear. And the ones that stick around are the good ones. And like I said, Python has been around for so long. It is such an old scripting language. And the fact that it's still being used now is testament to just how good it is. Sniper Evil? Okay, Smurf has posted for Sniper Echo on the Discord his menu system that he's trying to work in Python, that he's working in Python with. Cool. I've been burying my head in blueprint stuff in UE4 recently, so that's what my programming stuff has all been in UE4. Installing Visual Studio and all that sort of rubbish. Oh, it's not rubbish. Visual Studio is very good, but yeah. I like the art stuff more than the programming stuff. Not to say I don't enjoy programming, because like I've said to you guys, when you solve a problem in programming, that feeling of elation when you solve that problem is different to when you create artwork. Yeah, it's a different feeling when you solve a problem in programming, like you had a bug and you work out what the bug is and how to fix it. That feeling you get, I like that. That's what I like about programming. Abandon the old thing, Smith says. No, don't abandon it. If you like the old thing, you keep using the old thing. Just because no one else is using it doesn't mean you can't. Okay, let's jump into Substance Painter. We were working on this door, and we're going to continue. We've only got this section at the top left to texture up. So the white bit in the front here will be glass, and we'll put a glass shader on that when we take it into Unreal. But the very top archway here, I want to be another wood grain. So let's find a material that we can use. Jump down the bottom, wait for Substance Painter to catch up because it's slow. It's not slow, it's just caching. I don't know why the caching is such a problem here in Substance Painter. Maybe now that Adobe are running things, I'll fix this problem with caching. When you scroll past a certain number of materials, it recaches. It's a pain. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Let's have a look at the walnut. And I threw it on the glass layer again. I did that last time. Let's stop doing that. Bookcase layer, that's the one we want. Oh, make sure I'm at the top of my stack. And let's mask by color selection. Now that's interesting. Did I not add a helix? Well, maybe I did. It's just not being shown up because the glass shader is over the top of it. Let's just see if I can grab it from the back. I don't think okay, it is there. The reason we can't see it is because of this glass material over the top of it. So I'm just going to turn that off so we can see what the actual wood grain is like. And the guys are talking amongst themselves on the Discord, so I won't interrupt. So we've got this walnut here. Now, I'm just going to jump quickly back into Max and look at the untextured model so I can sort of visualize in my head how I want the colors to look or what textures I think might be good. So we're going for a cherry and a chocolate because the rest of the furniture in the building is cherry and a chocolate. And so these archway sections go a few ways. We can go wood, we could go a metal, like a gold, to bring more gold into the actual bookcase. Might look interesting. And don't worry, Android Lust, if you are listening and you can't see, Or I'll post an image on my Twitter page of what we worked on, the texturing, like I do after every stream. When I sort of post a message linking to the day's stream in my videos, I post an image of what we were working on that day, so you can see it that way, Android Lust. But I've just got to try and work out whether I want to go with wood or if I want to go with a gold. Because the bookcase it's a big object. It's going to be a lot of wood. So I'm just trying to think that maybe if we go with a metal, it might be more interesting. Normally it would be a wood in these archway sections. You know, if we're going true to life. You generally put a wood there, but you don't have to. We don't have to. Hey, you know, it's my world. I'll do what I want. So let's see what a metal looks like, just out of interest. So let's jump back into this, and let's just turn off the wood grain temporarily. And let's find... Just trying to read this message. You probably can't see it's hidden behind me. Down here in the corner. I was just saying something about the shader API being updated. I don't know. We'll ignore that for now. Not giving us an issue, so... The Euro says, could do a gold leaf type thing. Yeah, we could do that. We could certainly do that. Depends on what materials I have here. Because of course I don't have the entire substance database downloaded. I do have quite a few substances, but not the thousands that you can download from their database. Come on. Let's try. I thought I had a goldy type paint that might look interesting. I could be wrong. I often am. I could also make one in Alchemist if I wanted to. If I really wanted to do that. Might be an interesting project. If we can't find something that we like. I must have passed it. I'm pretty sure it was down toward the bottom. Metallic paint. It's this one here. Let's have a look at that. Again, let's mask it so we're not being distracted by the rest of the... Let's pick the right thing here. Could be a good base layer for us to start with. Euro says, yeah, I only grab what I like off there and end up with shelf float with them all, to be honest. Yeah, I've noticed, you've seen the problems that this program has with caching if you scroll too quickly. And the more substances you add, the worse that problem is going to get. So I try and avoid downloading stuff that I know I'm not going to use, just so I've got it. And normally, you know, I'm the sort of person that loves to grab it all, if I can. But when it comes to this program, I really only try and stick to stuff that I know I'm going to use because of this problem with the caching. If they fix that, well, then I'll go hell for leather and download as much as I can, because I have a lot more substances than this on my hard drive that I just don't load into the shelf for that problem. Let's see what else we can do with this. So let's go back there again. I really like, and I can't use it a lot because the material, the substance doesn't work on everything, but I really like the varnished. No, it's a varnished. Where is it? beech, wood walnut, wood varnish dark, wood varnish red. No, that's not the one. There's like this craquelateur. You know how old furniture gets cracked, or paintings. You know, an old painting, it gets that like spiderweb pattern through it. It's like all cracked. I really like that look, particularly for old furniture. And there is a material here, but again, like I said, it doesn't really work on everything, unfortunately. But we'll see if we can make it work. If I can find it. I can't remember what its name, so I can't do a search for it to find it that way. Wow, it's so annoying. I thought it was down here, but I don't notice it. I can't see it. Euro says ship it. Euro says make sure you have plenty swap space available. It helps with that. Yeah, I did. I actually have changed the settings and I've increased the cache size, but it doesn't seem to help after a certain point anyway. I have tried that. I have increased the cache size. Where is this material I want? It's not a walnut. No, it's not the wallwood. The guys are talking on Discord about programming stuff. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Wow. It's got to be here, because I mean I've used it. I used it on the pedestal, the wooden pedestal for the master bedroom. But do you think I can find it? Not on your life. See, normally what I would do with this program, if I wasn't streaming, is I'd take this panel out and I'd put it on my second monitor so it takes up the entire screen. That way I don't have to, number one, worry about the caching so much, and number two, make it easier for me to find stuff. But I can't do that while I stream because you can't see the second monitor. So I'm a big believer in multi-monitor use. Generally I have Max on this screen and I have Photoshop on my second screen if I'm doing texture UVing stuff. Oh, you meant in Windows. Euro says I meant in Windows. I let Windows manage the swap file itself. I don't generally mess with that. I think Microsoft have done a pretty good job at programming their swap sizes. So I let Windows manage the size of my swap file. Why is it not here? It should be here. Really should be here. It's not these two because these are the ones that I brought in from Alchemist, I think. I'm pretty sure. Why? There's one way we can find out. I'm just going to save this project. I'm going to open up the pedestal we worked on because I know I used it there, so I want to see. See if I can find it that way. This one here. Just telling me I created an old version, that's fine. Okay. Let's have a look here and see what it is. Marble, cherry wood, chocolate wood, old wood. It's in the old wood layer and it's wood beech, old varnished wood. That's the one here. Old varnished wood. Let's see if we can find it. There it is there. Wow. All right. Let's jump back into our project. I'll just discard it. I don't need to resave that. Smokeberry says Windows seems to manage it well enough on its own. Yeah, I think it does too. I think Windows does a pretty good job managing the page file to swap file. Smokeberry says, although in Linux I had to manually set the size of mine to stop Meshroom from barping on my huge building scan. Well, that's an extreme use case though, when you're doing photogrammetry stuff. Euro says, yeah, these days it does. There was a time when it wasn't great, Windows 7 and earlier. And we should all be using Windows 10 now that Windows 7 is end of life. There's no reason for anyone to be using Windows 7. Unless your hardware isn't up to it, like my notebook, I can't upgrade to Windows 10. I would if I could. Let's mask with color selection again. And let's play with our scaling a little bit. We don't want to go too small. Euro says, also don't be scared when you see a huge default swap file. It means it's meant to mirror your RAM size. Yeah, minimum should be your RAM size. So if you've got 32 or 64 gig of memory, then your minimum swap file should be 32 or 64 gig. I think Windows likes to add the RAM size plus half the RAM size again for memory. I could be wrong. So yeah. Alright, let's see if we can get a blend going on here. I'm just going to group these. And we're going to call it My Door Arches. I always like to put my in front of it, so if I need to search for it, all I have to do is search for the word my, and everything that is mine will come up. There is method to my madness. So let's put these into, they're already grouped, that's good, okay. Let us see if we can get a blend going on. I'm just going to turn these two off, go back to our underlying walnut, and I'm just going to change the color of this. I'm going to lighten it up a bit. Let's see if we can get a blend going on now. So let's start with the gold and the walnut. Euro says mine is default and 32 gig swap. Can't remember what mine is. I don't tend to pay much attention to my swap file. Like I said, I'll let Windows manage it all for me. It generally does a pretty good job. So what will be good here? Let me see. I watched the new Terminator movie the other day. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Terminator Dark Fate or whatever it was called. I like the Terminator movies. And it was good. Good to see the old character brought back, Sarah Connor. What do I want? What do I want to use? Let's try this Wear Edges one. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to leave it on everything so I can get a better idea of how what the mix is doing, and then I'll restrict it just to the bit that we want. So we have a couple of masks in this mask here. Maybe the occlusion. We might pull it up a little bit. Curvature. World space normal. We might pull up a touch as well. Position gradient overlay. No, we won't mess with that. And the thickness opacity. No, we won't mess with that either. Okay, so we're getting a mix happening between the gold paint and the wood underneath. Let's move up to the next layer now, which is this one. And let's choose a different smart mask. Let's have a look at the surface worn. I don't like to work like this unless I'm doing some fiddly stuff, because I find it easier to look at the model from a bit of a distance when I'm doing the mixing to see what the effect will look like. Because it can look different from a distance compared to really close up. So I always like to pull back on the model and look at it from a bit of a distance. You saw it last week. You saw it last week. It was okay. Yeah, it was like, look, it wasn't great. I'm not going to say it was a great movie. Terminator, Dark Fate we're talking about. But it was alright. It was a Terminator movie. I got my money's worth. I feel like I did. I mean, it was Terminator. It was alright. Like I said, I like the fact they brought back Sarah Connor. She was a good character. Won't change the world, but it was an enjoyable hour and a half, or however long it took me to watch. Good distraction for an hour and a half. Mercury says, "But the fiddly stuff is the best stuff." Get your face right up in there. I guess so. I guess the fiddly stuff is the best stuff. If you want to believe Smurfberry. Euro says pixels, Smurfberry says texture. Mplaz says you would would you do a review of my portfolio? Just some recent 3D work. I certainly will, Mplaz. I like to look at your work. I do it toward the end of my stream. So if you want to hang around, I'll do it toward the end of the stream. Geez, 41 new messages in Discord. What's going on? What are you guys? Sniper in, Sniper Wrecker going hell for leather. Mplaz, I'd love to look at your work, and I would love to give you a review on it, and I will do it, but toward the end of the stream. So I stream from now until 2 p.m. US time. So in what's the time now? So in about an hour or so, I will do a review of it, if you like. Jump on the Discord server Mplaz if you haven't already. This is the link to join the server. I've just popped in chat. If you click that link, you can put a link to your portfolio in the gallery section if you want, or there is actually a subsection called Folios and Demo Reels where you can post to your ArtStation or your website and all that sort of stuff. You can post it in there. So post a link there and we will check it out toward the end of the stream if you like. That goes for anyone watching. If you got some work you want to show off, please feel free to pop it in the gallery on the Discord server, the Phil Does 3D Discord, and we'll check it out. Now, Smurpery says, I still haven't caught up on the Sarah Connor Chronicles or Genesis or Dark Fate. Yeah, Dark Fate was the movie I watched, the new Terminator movie. The Sarah Connor Chronicles, I haven't caught up with that either. That's a different actress though from the Dark Fate Sarah Connor. The Dark Fate Sarah Connor was the original Sarah Connor from the original Terminator. And of course Arnold Schwarzenegger is in it as well, of course. As you would expect. As the original Terminator. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fade in just a little bit of that crackled varnished wood. I still want to bring up some of the gold. I don't want to lose the gold completely because I think the gold is a nice contrast with the wood. A little hard to see until we get it in the right angle of the light, but you can see what I mean. I'm just trying to see, wondering if I should pull back on the height information a little bit. Let's jump back down to that gold paint just quickly. Euro says, is that Chronicles series still going? I thought they cut it after 1 or 2 years. After 1 or 2. Smurpery says it lasted for 2 seasons. Smurpery says the SC is supposed to take place in the past. So yeah, younger Sarah. SCC, Smurpery corrects himself. I'm just going to pull up on the saturation of the gold there. I want it to be a little bit, now that we're adding layers on top of it, it started to fade the gold color a little, so I'm just pulling up on the saturation just to bring up the gold again. I might have gone a bit far, I might just pull it back a little bit. That's better. So you've got to imagine we're going to have a glass sheet that sits over the top of that gold and the rest of the door, which we will do, like I said, using a shader in Unreal. When we bring the door in and we set up physics on it so that people can open and close it in the game. That's the idea anyway. Let's do a quick save. I'm just wondering if I want to add a dirt layer to the rest of the door itself. We'll have a quick look at that. We'll see if it adds to it or not. And if it doesn't, we can remove it. So let's find a dirt material, and I generally like to use the mud. Smurfy, we're talking about Sarah Connor. I'm just rereading the same thing. It's hard for Phil to do 2 things at once. You guys know that. Mortar, mud. So generally I either use the mortar wall or I use the mud. We'll go with the mud. Let's just change the scaling. Again, I'm going to turn off the height and the normal on this. It's just meant to be a dust layer. Don't want to scale the texture too much. I want to keep it pretty... I don't want a recognizable pattern to happen, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But I do want to darken it up a little bit. Let's see if we can find a mask. Let's have a look at the dust off the edges. Gonna pull back a bit on it. Pull back on the contrast. Pull back a bit on the balance. Because we have to remember this is a really old bookcase, been sitting up in his bedroom for, you know, close to 100 years probably, so it's got a bit of dust on it. Let's just have a look at the contrast. I'm going to pull up a little on the contrast because I like the variation we're getting here on the edge. So if I sort of pull back and we turn it on and off, we can get a better idea of what this layer is doing. So no dust, dust, no dust, dust. What I am going to do though is I'm just going to pull back a little on the mix. Just so it's not quite so in your face. So dust, no dust, dust, no dust. There we go. It just helps to age it a bit. Okay, let's do a save. I don't think there's really anything else we need to add to our door. I think that should be pretty good. Turn the glass layer back on again, and again export out textures into the right folder would be good. Bedroom, chosen. Bookcase. Okay, they're named correctly, so that helps. Let's select the folder. Now the glass, I'm not going to be using a texture from Substance. I'm just going to knock that back to 128 because we're not going to use it at all. And the door frame itself will probably 1K will probably be big enough for that. So let's export. Okay. Quick save. Okay, let's jump back into Max and choose the next part to texture up. So we've got these doors down the bottom. So we're only going to do one door. We're just going to repeat the same door inside the engine. We can probably, I was going to say we can probably instance them, but because I'm turning them into a physics asset so that people can open and close them as part of the gameplay, I don't think I can actually instance them. But we can certainly reuse the same mesh because they should all be identically sized if I did my job right, like I said. Even if they're not, we can scale it ever so slightly and people are not going to know. So we've got the main part of the bookcase, or we've got the central doorway. Let's work with the central doorway, I think. So bookcase door, okay, it's named correctly. It's already UV mapped, so that's good. But what we have to do, before I forget, we need to assign vertex colors. So let's do that. So we're going to have to go through and decide what colors we want where. Okay, I'm going to collapse my stack, convert it to an edit poly. Smurfberry says physics like Havoc, or physics like there is an interact prompt and an attach open close animation. More like good question. More like, well, it's going to be, there is no interact prompt and there is no it's an actual physics object, so more like Havoc physics. So what will happen is the player will come up, let's use the door here as an example, the mouse cursor will highlight to a different thing to indicate it's interactable. So you click on it and you drag, and that will open the door. Or you could click and it will automatically open. Now, that is actually a physics object. It's being created using a physics object inside the engine and being triggered using blueprints. So, yeah, it's sort of like a mix of both, but it is actually a physics object that's being used as part of the interaction for the whatever it is. I use it for, like, I've got crystal keys. They're called crystal keys. They're like these crystal wand things that you use to dispel the pentagrams that are locking the doors. So, and that's a physics object as well. But it's not an object you can throw. Yeah, you won't be able to throw it in the game. I can't risk having a person pick up a key and throw the key and lose the key and break the game, because they'll never be able to get into the room, sort of thing. So generally inventory items, even though they're physics objects, they're not physics objects you can throw. You can discard them, but that's an option in the menu, just to be on the safe side. Because, yeah, you take your key outside to the forest, you know, you think, oh, it'll be fun to throw this key, so you throw your key into the forest. You'll never find it again, and you'll never be able to get into that room. And that could break the rest of the game. So, long story short. Thank you, M-Class, for following the channel. I do appreciate it. So thank you. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, M-Class. For the follow, and again, I haven't forgotten, jump on the Discord M-Class and throw a link to your portfolio in there, either in the gallery or in the folios and demo reels section, if you've got an art station, all that sort of stuff, and we can check it out at the end of the stream. So just around 1:45 US time. So yeah, about 45 minutes. I do it every day for anyone that wants to show their work off. I always do it at the end of the stream. Smokeberry says, so slightly less horrifying than a hand simulator. That's right, slightly less. Well, I got initial feedback from the doors, the mechanic we're using for the doors. Because initially it was a click and drag to open. And the feedback we got was, oh, don't do that. Just do it a click to open. So it's all been changed. I swapped out all of the doors in the mansion building, the manor building, to click to open. This door, I'm not going to do that. This door I'm going to keep as a click and drag. So I think it'll be more interesting. Yeah. So general doors, click to open now, but because this is a feature object in the bedroom and it's an important prop for the game, because it gives you access then to the attic, and the attic's going to be important to get. I don't know yet, but I'll work it out, to get something which is then going to interact with something else. So as a feature object, I'm going to make this one a click and drag. So, but generally the doors are just click to open. And I don't know whether I'll have any physics objects that you can pick up and throw. I don't know. Is that something you like in games, guys? Do you like picking shit up and throwing it around? Or is that just you couldn't care whether it was there or not? So yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it can be done. We can add physics objects that you can pick up and throw around, but it doesn't really add anything to the gameplay. It's just more of a messing around sort of thing, and I don't know if that's really going to be beneficial to the game. So I want these pieces, these really freaky, horrible looking head things. I want those to be a metal. So I'm going to make those a metal, and so we'll make that color. Let's make that a yellow color. That'll remind me I want it to be a sort of metal, goldy metal. We also want these handles to be a metal, but a different sort of metal. So let's make those a green. I also want these little handle attachments to be a metal, but a different metal from the handle. So let's make them a blue. And I think I may have forgotten to say okay on this, and it's no, that's still green, that's good. And that's blue, that's good. Okay. For the majority of the paneling for the bookcase, I've got to decide which way I want to go. Do I want to go chocolate cherry or cherry chocolate? So I'm just going to sort of stare at this and look like I'm not doing anything for a second while I visualize in my mind the different colors. Smoker says, throwing stuff can be amusing diversion, but only for a few minutes unless it's a core part of the gameplay loop. Selfless One, hello to you, Selfless One, as well. It's good to see you. Did you have a good weekend? We've just been talking, Selfless One, about whether you guys like being able to pick shit up in games and throw it around, even if it's not part of the gameplay. Smoker said that it can be amusing diversion for a couple of minutes, but after that it's pretty pointless. It can cause problems too sometimes. Sometimes something can get stuck if you throw it in a spot that you can't reach to get, maybe it'll block something. It can be dangerous to have throwable shit. And particularly if it's not part of the gameplay, if it's not necessary for the gameplay. Selfless One says, so far so good. Good to hear. So yeah, at this stage, there'll be no physics stuff that you pick up and throw around. I mean, there are objects, like I said, that are physics objects, but they're more physics as being part of the inventory system and the interaction system. But things can change. I mean, the game isn't being released till the end of the year, so plenty of time, I guess. No, that's right, colours. I'm trying to work out what colours I want for this. I'm visualising the bookcase in the room. Bonseneg, my apologies if I mispronounced that, says evening. Evening to you, Bonseneg. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. My apologies if I'm not. The guys will tell you I'm terrible. Hi, Bonseneg, it's good to see you too. Hope you had a good weekend. So yeah, I'm thinking with this bookcase, if we make it a cherry, we've got a lot of cherry wood in the rest of the building, so I don't want to overdo too much cherry. Like, I'm going to use cherry, but I don't know if I want the main bookcase itself to be the cherry. So I'm thinking the main bookcase itself maybe be the chocolate wood, and we can use the cherry wood then for accents, for things like this paneling work here through the sides. I think that might be a better way to go. So let's select, actually this is interesting, I've broken this up when I designed it, so what we can do is, that'll be cherry, that will be cherry, and that will be cherry, cherry wood, of course, is what I mean when I say cherry. We can make that part of the door cherry as well. We can make the borders of the actual doors cherry. Okay, that should be good for the cherry wood. So let's assign that a red colour. That'll remind me I want it to be the cherry wood colour. Okay, so now I want this to be a metal, I think. I think it'll be interesting. So that one and that one, and that one and that one. And that one and that one. And that one and that one. Oops, we've got ones down the bottom too, we can't forget them. And that one and that one. They can be one type of metallic material. So let's make that pinky purple. So that leaves this one, this one, this one, this one. This one, this one. Oop, not that one. this one and this one. Let's make that an aqua color, which then will leave the rest of the bookcase, which will be that. The shelves, actually, I might make those part of a cherry as well. I forgot that, but we'll fix that in a minute. This part of the bookcase, this part of the bookcase. This part here, these sections through the side, or that bit through the side, maybe not this middle bit, I might make that a cherry as well. So let me just check that I've hit everything. So this one, we're going to make a chocolate wood, so let's change this colour to, I'm running out of colours to use. Let's make it sort of darker blue. So now I've forgotten which one was cherry and which one is what, so I'm just going to turn on Vertex colors so I can get a better idea of what we've hit and what I want to change. So, okay. So everything red is what we want to be cherry. So I'm just going to reselect the cherry bits again. I also want to make that cherry and the shelves cherry. So we're just going to reassign the red color. Okay, now there are these door bits here. We can either make those a chocolate, but I think they might be more interesting as a metallic color. So I'm going to select them. Why did my shelves not get changed to a cherry? Why? They're showing up as red here. I'm not sure why they're not showing. Oh, it's because I hit the illumination, not the color. Okay, let's do that properly. Okay, that's good. Yeah, these door frames, we could either, originally I was thinking of making them a chocolate wood. They might be interesting with a metallic color. Look, I'll make them a separate color, so we can either go with chocolate or we can go with a metal. We'll work it out once we get into Substance Painter. So let's make this a green, and let's make it a really dark greeny color. Now we can check to make sure we've hit everything we want. It should be good. I'm just going to make a bit of an alteration to the mesh here because our shelves are actually sticking through the back of our door, and that will be seen when the door is open, so I've got to fix that. Bonson Egg says, are you taking it to Substance Painter for texturing? Yes, I am. I'm going to be doing that in 2 seconds. Bonson Egg. Copery says to Sniper Echo, Sniper disappeared. He always disappears. That's Sniper Echo. It is very late where he is, though. I have to give him that. Oh, actually, that's just a pattern that's in the back of the cabinet by the look of it. So we might leave that there. I was actually going to bring those shelves in, but I think it might make an interesting pattern on the back of the doorway for the bookshelf. So we'll leave it there. So let's export this now that we've done our Vertex colouring. And we want to export it into our, not into my water pump. I've been working on a water pump for the game. We want the bedroom. We want the bookcase. And we are calling it bookcase. I'm going to call it bookcase main door. Okay, let's jump into Substance Painter. Let's create a new project. Let's load up another water pump. Bookcase main door. Let's set it to 2K. We want to compute tangent space. Okay, let us bake out our maps. We're going to use the low poly as the high poly at 2K. Oh, I barely get time to have a sip of my coffee with the new GPU accelerated baking in Substance Painter now. Alright, let's start with the wood and work our way toward the metal. So let's start with the chocolate wood. Back to our materials. Wait for it to cache. Actually, I'm going to look at that old varnished wood again. I want to see what that might look like. Just because I want to see. So let's throw that down. I'm just going to mask it with color selection and pick where we're going with the chocolate wood. Originally, that's what my intention is. But I'm just curious to see whether this might look interesting. Not on its own, but we might be able to mix it and we might get a nice mix happening with something else. So we'll leave it there for the moment. I'm going to delete the blank layer at the bottom. Bonson Egg, I should say, says I usually adjust ambient occlusion and curvature settings before baking, gives more accurate results. You adjust the ambient occlusion and curvature before you do the bake in your bake mesh map setting. I generally found that, well, sure, I'm sure it would. The default setting that seems to work pretty well for me. Now we're going to throw down the chocolate wood, so this one here. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to pull back on the height information because it comes in way too high. I'm going to darken it up, so I want a darker chocolate wood. Smurfberry says that wood grain is huge. You're talking about the underlying one or the new one? Talking about this one or this one? Let's just turn off the underlying layer so we can see what it's looking like. I don't think that the scaling on this is okay. I wouldn't scale it up anymore. Smurfberry says, what is this, a cabinet for ants? The most recent one, yeah, you're talking about this one. This I've just upped the scaling on it. But I'm not going to up it any more than that. I don't think it needs to be raised up any more than that. Are you talking about the first one? The most recent one? Do you agree, Smurfberry, that the scale value you see here now is correct? Or do you still think it's it's a made France. To me, this looks correct. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. The underlying one might require... No, it depends on how we do a mix now between these two as to whether this one should be scaled up. Looks a tad bit large, but is close. It's not large. How do you say that's large? Because like a person standing in front of this thing will probably come up, their head will probably come to about here. So imagine a person standing in front of it with their head about here. I don't think it's large. Now we can certainly scale it up more if you think it needs it. So we're at 8.3 at the moment. I'm just going to copy that value. See, when we go to scale it too much, we start to get a repeating pattern. I want to avoid that repeating pattern too much. Okay, here we are at 10. Now, generally I will not go to more than 10 because we're starting to get it squished too much through the sides. So is 10 satisfactory for you, Smokeberry? So we've gone from 8 to 10. 10 times scaling is from 8 times scaling. Yeah, and if we scale too much, we start to get a repeating pattern, which we can hide by overlaying more materials. But if we can avoid a repeating pattern, it's always a good thing to start with if we don't have it. Easier if it's not there than to try and hide it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's okay, good. Okay, good. Smokeberry's happy, so I'm happy. So let's see if we can't get some sort of mix happening between these two now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back on the height of the underlying craquelature as well, because it's just way too high. I'm going to turn the normal off and play with the height a little bit.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah. Alright, what we're going to do, before we look at trying to do a mix between that texture and this texture, I'm going to throw down the beach honey as an underlying layer underneath. Again, let's rotate it 90 degrees. Let's scale it up and reduce the height, because the height information gets really distracting. So we'll scale it up to around about the same value, around about 12. Now I'm going to throw down a smart mask. Let's go with let's try the surface worn one. No, the surface worn is not the one that I want. Let's go with let's try the dust occlusion one. do an invert.
Inventions and innovations. And now it's available for everyone.
It's just giving us a little bit of wearing in the corners. Let's go with another mask as well. Let's try the edges dusky. Pull back a bit on the contrast. Pull up on the ambient occlusion. Pull back a little bit on the curvature. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the chocolate wood. We're going to darken the copy up a bit, make it a darker color. We've got the underlying layer and this slightly darker one on top again. Let's go with a smart mask and let's go with do the surface worn. I'll call in a little bit so we can get a better idea of what the mask is doing. Remember, we're going to be restricting this because we're not applying this to the entire bookcase like we see now. We're going to start restricting it. So once we get it balanced in correctly, then we'll restrict by color selection.
Looking in, not knowing where I've been, traveling through light and sound. I want to know the real world.
Just going to remove a little bit of the color from this underlying layer. It was just a little bit too yellow. Just seeing if any of these blending modes give us an interesting look or not. I just wanted to bring back that the corner edge wear that we had before. It was sort of being lost with all the layers on top of it. Okay, so let's group these. Shillum, and my apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. Shillum, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. So thank you very much for following. Phil Does 3D. Shillum. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. It's either Shillum or Skillum. Thank you for the follow. Let's restrict this now. So let's put these in their own group. We're going to call this one My Bookcase Shock. My Bookcase Shock Wood Main. So I think I already have a chalk wood bookcase smart material safe. And let's add a color with color selection, mask by color selection. We're going to restrict it to just the blue, which is what we want to be the chocolate wood. Okay, so far so good. Let's work our way now to, let's work on the cherry wood next. So, back to our materials. Wait for it to cache. Come on. Let's throw down the cherry. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave it on all of the model, and then once we've adjusted everything the way we like it, then I'll add a color selection and restrict it just to the part of the model that we want. So first things first, we need to rotate it 90 degrees. We need to reduce the height. It's way too high. Increase the scale. Let's take it to, let's try 10 times. I want to change the color. I just want to bring in a little bit more red. Darken it up a little bit. Not that much. Just take out some of the color so it's a little blander. You liked it better darker, did you? You know, remember, this is just not for the whole bookcase. We're working on the whole bookcase at the moment while we mix our texture together properly. Then we're going to restrict it. So it's still going to be black, dark. The chocolate wood is still there. It's just being hidden at the moment while I work on the mixing, while I blend the materials, and then we'll bring the chocolate wood back. Don't worry, the chocolate wood is still there. Don't worry. I'm just leaving it on the entire model at this stage, because it's easier for me to see the blend than just restricting it to the bits that I want to use this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I'm going to darken up this duplicate layer. Okay, now I'm going to bring in that beach honey again as an underlying layer. Again, we're going to have to rotate it 90 degrees. And actually I'm going to turn off the height and the normal on the underlying layer. I'm just going to turn the other layers off so I can see the beach honey more easily. Now we're going to scale it up to around about 10 times as well. Let's turn on the above layer 1 back to our smart masks, and let's go with let's look at the edges uber. Yeah, no, I don't like the edges uber. Let's go with, let's see, let's look at the dirt cavities one. Now I'm ignoring really all of this. I'm looking at these pieces here. This piece in here more so than the top as well, because that's what this texture is going to be applied to. That and a couple of the door frames, I think, from memory. So I'm really ignoring the rest of this, just paying attention to these bits at the side for my mix. Let's try planar as turned on. Good. Maybe an occlusion curvature. Okay. This is too brown. I want this to be a redder color. So fiddly working with these little sliders. Let's use a smart mask and let's look at stains and scratches. I'm not sure I like stains and scratches, to be honest. Again, I'm ignoring most of the rest of the model. I'm really only looking at these bits down the edges. So again, if I was going to use this with the rest of the model, that's pulled up way too high. But I'm really only interested in these bits along the edge. In fact, what I'm going to do is, to make it easier so I don't have to keep saying it, I'm going to group these. And we're going to mask with color selection, and the only parts I want for that are those bits. So I do have the doors, so what I'm going to have to do is jump back down to the bottom layer, and we'll try darkening this up a little bit. So it's not quite so in your face. Sniper Echo says, nah, you do partial bakes in Painter. I never tried that. Nan, you do partial bakes in Painter. Can you do partial bakes in Painter? Can you do a partial... What do you mean by partial bake, Sniper? I'm not really sure what you mean by a partial bake. So explain to me what you mean by partial bake, and then I'll try and answer. I don't like the colour of this cherry wood, so I'm going to try and make some adjustments to the colouring. I'm going to start by pulling out a little bit of the saturation. Can't darken it up too much because then we're not going to get a contrast with the chocolate wood. So I have to be careful not to darken it too much. Let's see that I really like the cherry wood at all. Sniper says, bake out only specific parts of a mesh. You can, so you could re-bake maps only for a specific, yeah, you can. You know the door we were just working on, the bookcase door? You know how we had the wood and the glass? Well, they were two separate materials, so they could be baked out separately. I don't know if you can do it for the one material though. I don't think you can. No. I think if it's part of the one material, I don't think you can, but if it's multi-material, then you can, certainly. But I don't think a single material you can. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think if it's a single material, there is no way that I'm aware of. I don't think that you could bake out just parts of the mesh of the single material. If it's multi-material, then yes, it's easy to bake out separately. Yeah, I don't really like that cherry wood that we're putting over the top of this, so oops, I always hit the wrong button. So we're going to look at maybe swapping it out with a different material. Let's have a look at that old varnished wood. This one. Let us Play with the white range a little bit. Pull it back. And let's play with the blending a little bit as well. Let's throw down a smart mask. Let's go with let's look at the surface one. I want more color variation in this wood color. I mean, I like the bit of a pattern we're getting with the old wood varnish, but I'm just wondering if it might be better if we see if we can change the actual underlying color. Go back to our mask. I'll pull a little bit in just to add a bit more interest to that wood grain. And I'm just going to see if we can make some adjustments to the underlying colour. Again, I want to avoid going too dark because I do want to keep distinction between the chocolate and this other wood. If we make it too dark, then it's just going to get lost in the chocolate wood. Okay, let's just move away from the wood for a minute so I can concentrate on the rest of the model, and then we can always come back and make some adjustments if we need to. I'm just going to do a quick save because we don't want to lose what we've done. This is bookcase main door. Let's move to these pieces inside the door so I can get a better overview of what's going on. And I said that we could either go with a wood or we could go with a metallic. Let's look at a metallic. So if we go with more gold, as Mercury would say, more gold. You never have too much gold. Let's look at this one here. Let's mask it with color selection so it's not so distracting. Okay, let's start by throwing a plain metallic texture underneath of it, like a rusted metal. Something like this one. I'm just going to throw that there. Let's scale it up. Okay. Let's group these two. My metal door frame. Let's throw a smart mask over this. And let's go with let's try the dirt soft edges. Mask with color selection. What did I do? I did something wrong there. Done. Oh, there we go. Alright. I was trying to work out what I'd done. Not that one. Let's try this one. No, it's not working for me either. Keep moving my mouse. I don't mean to, I just want to cycle through the different blend modes. Let's turn that off for the moment. Let's look at another smart mask. I don't think that one's going to do what I want it to do. Let's try this one. I don't think this one's going to do it either. Just got to try and work out what I've done here. Just bear with me while I work out what I'm doing. Well, let's simplify this a bit. I'm just going to again remove these masks that I don't want. Okay. No, not okay. There's some mix I've got going on somewhere that's not correct. I think it's because I put this rusted steel inside the wrong folder. I think that's what's going on. Let's see. So let's go back to this mask. Yep, I had it in the wrong folder. So back to the mask editor. I'm actually going to jump into that gold. The hide information. Not doing what I want. I'm going to turn back the hide information for the rust. All right. Let's look at another smart material to throw on top of this. So let's go with Gold 01. And let's go with that soft edges as a mask. Pull back on the balance a little bit. Let's now, my master metal door frames, I'm going to turn this into its own smart material. Create smart material. And now I'm going to assign that also to the handles here. So drag it on. Mask with color selection. Okay, why is it doing that? Just call this 2. Trying to work out why it has not transferred over correctly. Why? Okay, an easy way to do this will be for me to remove that. Masking with color selection, let's pick the handle. Again, it's doing the same thing, very strange. Alright, fine. Remove the handle. Back to our smart materials. My mega spool. Let's look at this one. Mask of color selection. Well, this is a smart material I created for the in the game, in the House and the Hollow game. There's a book called the Magus, M-A-G-U-S, and I created a texture because the actual book in the game has metallic binding around the edges, and this material I've just added was a smart material I created for that book. It should work for what we want for the handles as well. Let's move up to these bits here. So let's go with these horrible head things. Again, let's mask with color selection. I'm just going to close all these up so I don't get this confused like I was before. Again, we're going to throw a plain rusted metal underneath. Let's try this one first. Change the scaling. Mask of color selection. Just going to move that to the top of the stack. Another smart mask. And let's go with this one. Yeah, I'm ignoring the rest of it. It's really only these horrible head things that I'm looking at. I'm going to remove the height and the normal from that new metallic layer. Again, let's mask with color selection. Are we going for time? I want to check out. Actually, I don't think M-Players, I don't think you popped your link to your portfolio in the Discord. So when you pop it in, I'll check it out. But until you do that, I can't check it out, I'm afraid. I'm just going to do a quick save here. Let's look at these now, these little pieces here. Back to our smart materials. Let's go with have a look at this one. Again, we're going to mask it with color selection. Let's try that. And then let's go with this gold. Again, let's mask it with color selection. Pick that. Yeah, no, I don't like that gold. So let's choose something else. So let's go with try this gold. Throw down this one. Mask with color selection. The handles. Don't know if I really like that there, that color. It's not that one, it's this one. Might. I'm just going to turn that off and we'll see if we can find something that's going to be a better match. Let's try this one. Master color selection. I don't know. Let's turn the old one back on and do a comparison between the two. Old, new, old, new. Well, why don't we mix the two together and get the best of both worlds? Why not? So let's throw down a smart mask. And let's go with let's try the dust off edges. Looking to add like a dirt layer again. What I might do is just pull back on the blend. I pulled back on the blend a bit too much. Let's try playing with the blend mode. Not sure that I'm happy with the gold around the edges here of the doors. But let's do a quick save so we don't lose what we've got. And I think we might leave it there for today and pick things up where we left off tomorrow. Again, I'm not sure, just not sure whether I like the gold around the edges here. I might swap that out to a wood grain. So I think there's enough gold here that we don't probably need it there. But we'll work that out tomorrow. I do want to thank you guys and girls though very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I want to thank Gillian Mplaz for following the channel. I do appreciate the follows. Do remember, I'm live every Monday and Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia, or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. Thank you guys very much though for being here and for watching and for hanging out with me. Hopefully I will see you guys and girls tomorrow. See you guys.